尊敬的合作伙
Partners, guests, greetings. Welcome to this event, Unlocking the Job Market, Insights on Salary Trends and Key Recruitment Strategies, organized by Hong Kong Talent Engage. Thank you very much for the support. And I am Edwin, the moderator for today. At today's event, well, it is also webcast on our WeChat page and also on LinkedIn. You are most welcome to ask questions at the end of the presentation. Hong Kong employment market changes very rapidly every year concerning the pay trend and also employment situation of different industries. These are topics of concern to many companies. So we have invited Mr. Lawrence Hong, immediate past president and executive council member of Hong Kong Institute of Human Resource Management, to talk to us about understanding Hong Kong's employment landscape. Essentials before you start. Good afternoon. I am Lawrence. Today, I'm going to share with you information from HKRM. That is, we have done a research on our pay and also pay trends. I'm going to share with you the findings and outcomes so that you have better understanding of Hong Kong's labor market and our welfare policies, our remuneration, and how they are set. I would like to offer you more information so that when you come to Hong Kong to work, you have more information to have better understanding to consider, and also you have more information to consider when you consider working in Hong Kong. Okay, first of all, in Hong Kong, in 2025, we have done a survey. 167 companies were surveyed, and we have gathered information from 140,000 employees in 12 industries. Usually, when it comes to pay adjustment, companies will consider a few factors. First, of course, the company's business performance. And secondly, they will consider Hong Kong's business environment and economic conditions. The third point is individual performance. So these three factors all along in the past few years were considered the top three factors. Of course, companies will consider the market and competitors' pay adjustments and also changes in their welfare package. And finally, they will also consider inflation. So concerning companies' costs, inflation will cause impact. So they will consider all these factors in making decisions on pay adjustments. So they will also consider these factors in working out their cost and their budget. So on this chart, it is from the year 2020 to 2025. In these past few years, regarding pay adjustment, what are the average data? In 2020 and 2021, there was COVID-19. So many companies, based on their own corporate situation, only made small pay adjustment. But after that, well, on average, pay adjustment ranges from 2.7 to 3.5%. So on average, you can say that pay adjustment is around 3%. So, okay, if we take a closer look, in the past 3 years, which industries saw the highest pay adjustments? In 2025, logistics, banking and financial services, and then professional services. So their pay adjustment was relatively higher, from 3.5 to 4%. Apart from salary, I believe that all employees like me are also concerned about bonus. Usually, in Hong Kong, bonus is divided into two parts. First, guaranteed bonus, which is fixed. Many companies pay basic salary for 12 months of a year, but for some other companies, 36.5% of companies offer fixed bonus. So we call it the 13th month pay. That is a fixed bonus. So as long as you work for one whole year, then at the end of December or during CNY, you'll be given 1 month's pay. So in the conditions of service, usually this point is made, or in the employment manual, this point is made in relation to fixed bonus. So if you are able to work till that time, you will get it. So it is guaranteed. And then another part is in Hong Kong, 87.4% of companies offer non-guaranteed bonus. So for this non-guaranteed bonus, it is not fixed. So perhaps this year, this bonus is paid. Next year, it is not. And for example, this year, considering the company's growth and individual performance of employees and other factors, this bonus can be of a bigger or smaller amount. It is not guaranteed. And then for non-guaranteed bonus, in 2025, basically there are a few levels, top, senior, middle, and general. In 2025, top management and also general staff, their non-guaranteed bonus ranges from 3.3 months to 1.38 months. So this is based on the employee level. But if you look from an industrial point of view, in the past few years, banking and financial services sector got the largest non-guaranteed bonus comparing with other industries. So in 2023, it's 2.12 months. In 2025, it's 2.44 months. Logistics and transportation sector in 2023 and 2025 was slightly higher than other industries in terms of non-guaranteed bonus. So it seems that these two industries' growth and development seemed better than the other industries. Okay. Regarding pay, I would like to give you some information. Basically, this is based on employee level, top executive management, senior management, and then middle management, and general supporting staff. And our data are based on average. So it is not a fixed amount. It can be higher or lower, but these numbers are average. Now, on the right-hand side, it is a breakdown by industries. For example, accounting and finance. So for executive management level, the annual pay is around 2 million. And then if you look at the IT and internet sector, it's around 1.5 million. General support in the accounting and finance industry, the annual pay is around 360,000. IT 410,000. And then for other industries, for example, legal, logistics, property development, supply chain and procurement. So their industries and their employee levels, the data about their average annual pay are here. So on these two slides, you can see that the bigger the responsibilities, the higher the pay. And the same goes with non-guaranteed bonus. So usually, the higher the employee level, then the potential of bonus is also higher. And then after looking at pay and bonus, then we can also take a look at benefits. In Hong Kong, companies attach much importance to welfare or benefits system. So this is also one of the advantages and strengths of Hong Kong companies. First, let's look at retirement. In Hong Kong, there are mandatory and voluntary contributions. So in other words, the government requires each employer or company to offer pension to employees. So for the mandatory part, it is around 5% of the employee's pay. However, there is a cap. So the maximum is $1,500 per month. In some companies, there are voluntary contributions. And for these voluntary contributions, so it can be 5% to 12%. And it is going to be contributed to employees as an additional amount. So in other words, for retirement benefits, there are mandatory contributions and voluntary contributions. So based on companies' HR system, there can be voluntary contributions as extra benefits to employees. Then medical benefits are also very important. Here we can see that 91.4% of companies provide medical benefit to employees. For medical benefits, they include hospitalization, outpatient, dental, medical checkup services. So there are many such data. So concerning medical benefits, usually focus is placed on outpatients and hospitalization. And then regarding insurance, there are life cover and also personal accident covers. And if employees need to make business trips, usually travel insurance will be offered. And then annual leave. Regarding annual leave, it is based on different employee levels. Here, we set out the average number. It doesn't mean that all members of top executive management will get 19 days. Some will get less, some will get more. So here you can see that for top executive management, 19 days, senior management, 17 days, middle management, 15 days, general supporting, 13 days. Apart from annual leave, here you can see that in this chart, there are other special leaves entitlements. These are quite common in Hong Kong companies. And then here you can see percentage of companies offering such entitlement. On the right, you can see the average entitlement in terms of number of days. So here you can see compassionate leave, marriage leave, birthday leave, study and examination leave, family leave, community voluntary service leave, wellness leave, and so on. Now, some companies, especially foreign enterprises, offer housing support. So here you can see that the percentage of companies providing such benefit is rather small. So around 8% of companies offer cash housing allowance. 35.3% of companies provide rental reimbursement. Of course, when it comes to companies, they need to attract and retain and nurture talents. Then, of course, they have to make more effort in order to do that. So many companies offer employee-friendly programs. So here you can see, for example, early leave on festive seasons, working from home, flexible working hours, employee assistance program. Employee assistance program means that third-party organizations will offer some wellness or healthcare services to employees. Let's say if employees are emotionally disturbed, then counseling can be offered. So HR department can do it, but in fact, third-party experts are in better position to offer such emotional, professional counseling. So for this purpose, employee assistance programs are also important. Training and development. Hong Kong companies are now most concerned about this, and they put in most investment, because when they have recruited talents, they need to do upscaling and reskilling. So in terms of training and development here, you can see that 74% of companies have a budget to train employees. And for the training budget, it is around 3.1% of total annual base salary. Usually, every year, companies offer 18 hours of training to employees. That's the average number. And 56.6% of companies provide education subsidy. On average, this subsidy is around 30,000 Hong Kong dollars. Of course, some companies give more, some give less. And sometimes such subsidy will be based on specific projects or skills. And then for management grade employees, here we can see change management, AI, and also digital technology. These are more popular for non-management grade employees. So usually training will cover customer service, communication, leadership, and so on. So these are rather popular topics in training. Okay, so just now I very briefly talked about the survey that we did in 2025 in relation to pay and benefits. And I also shared some specific data. Next, I'm going to invite some guests to share with me that in Hong Kong, if people want to seek jobs, what are some specific issues that we can share? So after this session, if you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hands to ask questions. Thank you, Lawrence, for your sharing. Please return to your seat. Hong Kong labor market is highly competitive. So among so many job seekers, how can you stand out among them? This is important. So we have invited representatives from different industries to do a sharing with us. So based on their very rich recruitment experience, they will talk about the most important conditions and qualities that they will look for. So Mr. Lawrence Hung will serve as the moderator. Besides, we are honored to have 3 panelists. They are Ms. Priscilla Chau, Director Human Resources of CLP Power Hong Kong Limited. Ms. Chung, Managing Director, Head of Human Resources of Haitong International. And then Mr. Thomas Chan, Co-founder and CEO of Lantern AI. So let's invite the 4 of them to come to the front. And then I will now pass the floor to Lawrence. Thank you. Right, thank you all. So now my Mandarin is not really very good. So it's just so. Today I'm happy to have 3 panelists to do a sharing and discussion with us. I would invite them to introduce their own companies and their responsibilities. Okay, greetings. On-site and online participants, greetings to you. Let me introduce myself. I am Director Human Resources of CLP. Actually, our company is rooted in Hong Kong. In the past 125 years, in Kowloon, New Territories, and the outlying islands, we provide and supply electricity. We generate electricity and we supply electricity. We also provide customer service. I'm sure many of you are our customers. Apart from working in Hong Kong, in Asia Pacific, including Australia, Greater China, and Southeast Asia, India, we have our assets and our projects under management. Regarding our assets, well, they are mainly related to energy. In Hong Kong, we have thermal power generation, and then in other regions, we have other projects. Some are related to photovoltaic power and also wind power, hydropower, and so on. So environmental protection is also our mission. Later on, I will talk about the special characteristics of our industry. In Hong Kong, we have more than 4,300 employees. Our core business is related to energy. And then our reliability, thanks to all your support, our reliability is almost 100%. So this is a brief introduction of CLP Power and our background. Okay, greetings to you. I am Chung. I am from Haitong International. Haitong International is a wholly owned subsidiary of Guotai Haitong Securities here in Hong Kong. So I think for mainland France, you should have heard of our company's name. So we are based in Hong Kong. We have been in Hong Kong for many years. Our main business scope is that we work in the finance industry in Hong Kong. We have investment banking, private wealth management, global markets, and also asset management. So basically, we have full license. Apart from Hong Kong, in overseas, we also have our operations. At present, in different countries, we have our footprints, including New York, London, India, Singapore, US, and Japan. So we have our coverage in these places. That's it. Thomas, greetings. I'm Thomas Chan. I am the founder of Lantern AI. Lantern AI is a human resources technology. So imagine an AI recruiter. Now in Hong Kong, if you talk about many big companies, foreign companies and schools, so our specialization is entry-level jobs. So within 10 years after your graduation, or if you would like to get into postgraduate program, then you may be interviewed by AI recruiter. So it's like a real person. It will interact with you, and based on your CV and your answers, it will ask follow-up questions. So it's like a real recruiter in the first round of telephone interview. So we can help HR experts to save time. So now if you talk about Hong Kong at present and how AI technology is used to screen candidates. So I can tell you how you can stand out among all candidates. So you are the first gatekeeper, right? Yes, you may say so. Right. So let's pay attention. Now, before the Q&A session, we have already received some questions. So based on questions that we have already received, I will ask panelists to share their views. And after that, depending on time, perhaps we can ask on-site participants to raise their hands to ask questions. First question is for Priscilla. So if there is a lack of Hong Kong work experience, then during interview, how to build trust? Besides, how can people effectively showcase their strengths so that the recruiter are of the view that you are more suitable for the job as compared to local Hong Kongers? Thank you for the question. Well, whether or not people have worked in Hong Kong before, that is not the main point. The main point is your knowledge in your professional area and whether it is in line with local market needs. Let me give an example. Right now in Hong Kong, there are a few professions and industries which indeed lack local talents. Let me give a few examples. First, positions related to cybersecurity. Many companies, including some of your companies, I believe, want to get cybersecurity experts. And when you need these experts, you need to find externally. So in Hong Kong, there are relatively higher and higher requirements and demands. And the room for development is also getting bigger. And then other positions related to technology, for example, AI, cloud computing, and also data analysis. These industries are also very popular. And there is a lot of competition. We need to snatch talents in competition with Asia-Pacific companies and local companies. I think this is related to Hong Kong's development. Perhaps you have learned from the news that because of the North Metropolis development, there are many construction, transport-related projects. So in the construction area, we are recruiting many talents. And in Hong Kong, there is a structural problem, and that is aging population. Local young people are not very willing to join the engineering sector, so perhaps they don't really want to work on construction sites. So in this area, we need to snatch talents. In the past 2 to 3 years, we made much effort to grab talents. Now, we do not only try to find talents in Hong Kong, we also actively look for such talents on the mainland and in other Asia-Pacific areas. I think the most important thing is, first of all, your own expertise. And secondly, when you come to Hong Kong, have you effectively built your interpersonal relationship network? And also a network related to your profession. In Hong Kong, different professions have different institutes or academies or organizations. So in these organizations, they share their development. So if you have the opportunity to get into these organizations to build your interpersonal network, then it would be very helpful. Another very important point is that in Hong Kong, if you work in Hong Kong, a lot of our daily communication is mainly done in Cantonese and English. So you need to let employers feel that you are willing to integrate with local market. We all know how to speak Mandarin, but most frontline workers mainly speak Cantonese. So it is helpful to learn a little bit of Cantonese in your profession and also your language, and also your knowledge about the mainland and Asia-Pacific region. All these together will form a very strong background so that employers will know that you can add value. Okay, thank you, Priscilla. Priscilla shared some insights just now. And I think she has actually responded to the second question. The second question is, if I am a cross-sectoral practitioner, then how can I meet the HR department's recruitment needs, and how can I enrich my own skills and experience? Joey, right. When people come to Hong Kong to work, very often we can see that they have some kind of perception. So their specialization may be in a certain industry, but there is no such industry in Hong Kong. Hong Kong attaches more importance to financial services. So then they may face an issue. Given this highly competitive environment in Hong Kong, how can we find a more satisfactory job? Now, we are HR practitioners. So our view is this. First of all, we hope that job seekers should first do a stock take of themselves. So their own positioning, their own strengths, their own advantages. Let's say they may be good at English, or they like to communicate with others. And some may be good at writing in English. And then those from the mainland may be stronger in Chinese. So you need to do a stock take of your own capabilities and strengths. After you come to Hong Kong, what kind of work would you like to take? Just now, Priscilla said that, for example, in the northern metropolis, there are many construction projects underway. So do you want to be engaged in construction or finance? So you have to look at the conditions required, or the conditions of different verticals. So for the finance sector, very often you may have to apply for some licenses. And SFC issues licenses as well. So you need to know whether you have the relevant knowledge. Perhaps you need to read some books and get more understanding. So the key point is that if you want to change to another sector, what are your competitive advantages? You need to do a stock take of yourself. And secondly, you need to get more understanding about different job markets in Hong Kong. And then when you come to Hong Kong, you can get more satisfactory jobs. So perhaps you are aware of these points, but when you actually implement them, you may have a lot of doubts and different views. Hong Kong is a more volatile or fluid market. You can see a lot of opportunities. However, behind these opportunities, well, sometimes you may have sent out a lot of applications, but you receive no response. So it all depends on how you choose and how you arrange. So these are our views. Okay, perhaps we can listen to the AI recruiter. So what should I write, or how should I write my application? And during interview, what are some keywords? How or do I need to smile? What language, what wordings should I use, and so on. So here's another question. At present, in the job market, as job seekers, how do we strike a balance? Do we want higher pay? Or should I strive for long-term career development? Should I go for high pay or long-term development, or both? So how to strike a balance, Joey? What's your advice? The reason why Lawrence asked me this question is because in Hong Kong, in the financial sector, there are more opportunities. So my view is that in different stages, people have different needs. Some students may have just graduated in Hong Kong. They may only have 1 or 2 years of work experience. Then in that case, they would want more opportunities and they would like to try out more things. But some other people may have more than 10 years of work experience, and when they come over to Hong Kong to work, they will look at development potential of different industries and whether there is prospect. So people in different stages will have different views. Some people attach more importance to money. Some will think that economic or financial income is more important. But some people are of the view that promotion prospect is important. It is important for them to have the opportunity to be promoted to the management level. So I think this is a good process about knowing yourselves. So there is not an absolute answer. It all depends on the current situation, and then you need to give an overall consideration of short-term, medium-term, and long-term developments in making decision. Okay, another question.
How do you foresee AI use in recruitment is going to impact job market in the future? 就是说AI 在招聘中的应用。
So when it comes to AI's use in recruitment and its impact in the job market, Thomas, can you share your views. Well, Hong Kong is a city where efficiency comes first. So time is money. Many big companies in Hong Kong, including SOEs and foreign enterprises, use AI to do early stage screening. So I would like to share 3 points. First, what are some popular skills that are needed in Hong Kong? Secondly, in your CV and also in AI interview, how can you stand out from other candidates? How can you win over other candidates? Now, in Hong Kong, I think AI literacy is very important. In Hong Kong, many big companies like big property developers and banks, the CEOs have given an instruction. So when departments recruit people, well, they will have to think of what are some AI projects that they have to carry out. So in the 2025 HR survey, first of all, the learning ability and also AI literacy. Have you tried using AI tools apart from ChatGPT? Have you used other AI agents to build agent workflow? For example, I want to build a workflow that can automatically reply to emails. Now, in your CV or during interview, if you can say to the interviewer that you have got this kind of relevant experience, then you may be able to build automated workflow for the department. This will be very useful. Many companies in Hong Kong have bought Microsoft Copilot. However, the utilization rate is very low. If you can enhance the utilization rate, then this is a good point to the department. So this is the first skill that you need to have, that is AI literacy. Second, data analysis. Here in Hong Kong, no matter whether you work in the cosmetics industry or construction industry, very often when you make report, you have to digitalize things. If you can use AI tools to enhance your data analytic capability, then you can prove your work capability more effectively. So that is especially good to your prospect in Hong Kong. The third point is, now many high talents have made applications to Hong Kong companies. So companies will use AI to review your CVs. So there are some management trainee positions, and then 2026 graduates are required. So if you apply in 2024 and 2025, you may have interview opportunities. But now, using AI, this condition cannot be evaded. So you have to make sure that you can meet the hard requirements. That means you will graduate in 2026. Otherwise, you will be wasting your time. So you will have to see whether there are any role-specific hard requirements or skill requirements. Okay, so let's say if you are graduates who graduated in the past 5 years, well, employers do not attach much importance to technical skills. Soft skills are more important in Hong Kong. So let's say for property developers, if you are not working in the construction industry, if you are not taking up engineering work, for example, if you work in HR or marketing or sales, then whether you have relevant degree is not very important. What employers want is that whether you have the adaptability. So if you come from other places, then they will look at whether you can adapt to cross-departmental cooperation and whether you can adapt to relationship with customers. So delivery and communication, whether you can speak eloquently. And number two, whether you can learn a new skill easily. So in your CV and during interview, within very short time, if you can pick up a new skill or in a new department within 2 weeks, you can already perform, then the interviewer will believe that you have low cost of learning and you can contribute to the company. The third point is motivation. Do you really want to join that industry or that company, or have you only sent out mass applications? Now on LinkedIn, there is one-click apply function. And employers receive a lot of such applications. Or some candidates only know what a company does on the day of interview. So motivation is an important factor or determinant. It is a very important soft skill. How to pass CV screens? For mainland talents, I think the most important point is that you have to have outside work experience. Many customers told us that many mainland talents only have mainland work experience in their CV. Well, it is good if you have worked for big mainland companies. However, if you have studied abroad, if you have worked overseas for some time, then employers will believe that you can adapt to working in Hong Kong. The working environment in the mainland and in Hong Kong differs a lot. So if you can show some hard evidence to employers so that they can see your global vision, then you can get many more extra points. Next, skill transferability. So you don't only have one expertise. You can also work in another specialty area. Apart from CVs, well, in your CVs, I suggest that you can add some measurable outcomes. So you should not only state what you have done. For example, you can tell your achievements in past projects. Let's say you have lowered cost by 50% for your employer in the past, or you can use some numbers or data to show your ROI. So these are more concrete elements to help employers to understand your true capability. What are some common mistakes during job seeking? Many candidates use AI to generate CVs. However, very often AI uses some very difficult words, or AI will generate a faked CV for you. And then employers know at one glance that the CVs are generated by AI. There are a lot of AI softwares. For example, in Lantern AI, we know what are the output of AI and what is the output by candidates. So in that case, well, employers will delete those candidates presenting AI-generated CV right away. So if you are not in senior positions, we suggest that CV should be within 1 page, at most 2 pages. Because when interviewer reads CV, well, he or she will not use more than 10 seconds. If there are 2 to 3 pages in the CV, then they are of the view that the points in the CV are not the most important points, and they may not have enough time to read. So you will be screened out. Now, very often, AI is used to gauge candidates' capabilities. How to avoid making mistake? First, you need to treat AI interviewer as real interviewer. You should engage in sincere communication. When employers use AI interviews, well, they actually want to know whether the way how you speak is normal. So, for example, whether you are particularly nervous, and then your delivery in English and in Cantonese. You have to have the ability to communicate like a normal person. Then AI interviewer will give you a good score. And thirdly, you need to prepare for commonly asked questions. For example, self-introduction and why choose this firm. The best thing is to talk about similar projects that you have handled in the past, or whether you have read the company's annual report and so on. So if you can make these points, then this proves that you have the motivation to join the company, and then your strengths and weaknesses. After explaining these, the AI will give you a score. So the stronger the points, the better. And don't cheat. Many candidates will input the questions into AI or ChatGPT and then just recite from the script. But now our company software knows whether you are giving real answers or whether you are reading from script. If you read from script, you will be screened out by the employers easily. Okay, so that's the situation about Hong Kong. Right. So in Hong Kong companies, employers use AI to shortlist candidates or carry out interview. This is quite common. So these are points that we have to pay attention to. One important point is, please do not think that one size speaks all. Let me give an example. So I just use the same CV no matter what job I am applying for. Then that is a big disadvantage, because then your CV is not personalized. You are not focusing on that particular company. Now we have received some questions. I can answer this question because it's a straightforward one. So job opportunities on the middle and senior management level for people over 40 years old, and also opportunities about starting up business. As Priscilla said, population in Hong Kong is aging, and there are 40% of people over 65 years old. So 40 years old people are still young. Those over 40 years old, those overseas talents in the middle or senior level, they still have good prospect in the Hong Kong market. In Hong Kong, our job market is highly internationalized. We attach much importance to professional skill and experience. So foreign talents don't need to be concerned too much about age. So when you seek jobs, it is most important that you can show to the potential employers the effectiveness and benefits that you can deliver to the company. For example, you have regional management experience, or you can enhance efficiency, you can lower costs, you can develop markets. These are your strengths. These are ways how you can contribute to the companies. So I think companies will attach importance to your effectiveness and your contribution. This is more important than your age. So please don't care too much about age. In Hong Kong, so let's say when we fill in application forms, well, companies won't ask how old you are. They won't ask whether you are married or not. These are not key points that they will consider. The most important points are your skills and the effectiveness and benefits you can deliver. So there's a question on whether there is hidden age threshold in Hong Kong as in the mainland. I don't think so. Well, 40-year-old persons are still young, yes. Okay, regarding starting up business, in Hong Kong, in the overall macro environment, we do need talents. Hong Kong is backed by our motherland, and we are connected to the world. So there are many opportunities to start business. To me, the strengths of entrepreneurs are that they personally have in-depth understanding of the industry. And do they have international vision? Do they have management experience? These are most important qualities for setting up business. So I think in Hong Kong there are many opportunities to start up business. So please be brave and make the first step. You should not limit yourselves. And in starting up businesses, you need to review your own interpersonal relationship and network. Just now, our two experts shared this important point already. You need to do a stock take of your own skills, capabilities, and your strengths. So comparing with other people, what are your unique conditions or capabilities enabling you to seize those opportunities? Next question. In Hong Kong, how can we see or know the recruitment activities or events of companies? How can we get the recruitment-related information? That's easy. Now, if you visit the official website of Hong Kong Talent Exchange, then there is a function on seeking job opportunities. They have connections with many job boards, and when you see positions or openings in other job blogs, they are connected to Hong Kong Talent Exchange. So Hong Kong Talent Exchange offers one-stop shop. You don't need to browse other websites. I think 80-90% of the openings are on Hong Kong Talent Exchange websites. And they also organize various events like what we have today. And employers also view that website. It is also a good idea to participate in online and offline events so that you have better understanding about different companies, and then you can do job matching. So you can always stay tuned to Hong Kong Talent Exchange. They have an electronic newsletter. You can subscribe to the electronic newsletter of HKTE. So they will push information about the market to you in a speedy way. So before you leave today, please follow that page. Okay. Online recruitment websites and APP. I think many job seekers get information about recruitment via these channels. In Hong Kong, are there some job-seeking channels specializing on vertical sectors? This is the first time that I come across this term vertical sector. Priscilla? Well, my understanding of this question is that for a certain profession and also job opportunities related to certain specific professions, in Hong Kong there are a few channels. First, there are headhunters and recruitment companies which specialize in a particular profession. For example, legal sector, engineering, HR, accountancy, finance, and so on. So how can you enable the headhunters find you in the Hong Kong market? Very often we use LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn, have you posted your CV on LinkedIn? So you need to find a way and include some hashtag keywords to refer to your own CV. For example, your past work experience. As Thomas just said, when you describe your experience, perhaps you have some special skills. So you need to enable companies to find you online. Then they will be included in groups that they pay attention to. That's the first channel. Secondly, in different industries in Hong Kong, as said earlier, they have their own organizations or institutes. And from time to time, these organizations organize events and also career development events. For example, you have engineering background or legal background, then you can join those events so as to enhance your own exposure so that they can get to know you. So apart from this, there are other institutes which will share information related to job openings on their websites. Besides, for example, in CLP, there are some big organizations within our company with very comprehensive structure. For us, engineers are divided into different grades and levels with different development opportunities. So if you are interested in a certain industry, well, you can take a look at companies in Hong Kong. Then you can get into their websites and take a look. Well, HKTE consolidates information for us, There are also some companies in Hong Kong with their own recruitment websites. You can take a look. And then you may have made friends with people in different institutions or academic organizations. Then in your LinkedIn profile, you can also put in some keywords so that AI can find you. Okay, apart from LinkedIn in Hong Kong, there are also different platforms like JobsDB, Recruit, and so on. And you can post your CVs on those platforms. And you can include some hashtags on any industry or positions that you're interested in. Because of time, let me ask the last question. This is an in-depth question. So in Hong Kong, for biomedicine professional talents, what is the career prospect of these people in Hong Kong, Thomas and Joey? Well, I think for healthcare, it seems that it is not related to finance, but in fact, it is not. For biomedicine, and also in traditional industries in Hong Kong, perhaps in Hong Kong, there are a number of universities doing related researches. And then in Hong Kong, many financial institutions have research teams. There are fund companies and also people working in the finance sector. You must know that medicine and healthcare is a very big research sector. So regarding biomedicine, well, in Hong Kong, you can work on research. You can also work on finance, sales. These are some very popular channels related to medicine and healthcare. Yes, in Hong Kong and in the Greater Bay Area, there is close collaboration. So there are many biotech and biomedicine stocks being listed in Hong Kong. And in the past, when I worked in Morgan Stanley, there are biomedicine research analysts who have professional background. They need to research whether a certain drug has FDA approval background. So if you are a biomedicine expert, you can join the Big Four accounting firms or other consultancy companies. I used to work in McKinsey, and there are some consultants who work for the biomedicine companies. And then in Hong Kong, there are different industrial parks serving biomedicine. So in the Science Park, there is an InQ Bio. The whole building houses many biotech companies. And then at the Loop, so and also in the Greater Bay Area and Hong Kong biotech companies are residents in the Loop. So in the future, in the coming 3 years, there will be more and more such work opportunities. Thank you, Joey and Thomas, for your sharing in relation to biomedicine. Just now, a key word is mentioned, and that is vertical industries. Priscilla mentioned just now that concrete or specific opportunities can be offered. So if you want to work on HR, you can actually follow our institute, the Institute of Human Resource Management. So to tie in with the discussion here today, please scan this QR code. Through this QR code, you can see that from time to time, we do sharing about our industry. So from HR point of view, you will see the career prospect of different sectors. So I think there will be some in-depth analysis of the industry, and we hope to deliver more information to you. Okay, so that's all in our presentation today. That's all in our sharing. Thank you very much. Now it is time for Q&A. So any questions for our guests? Any question? Yes, thank you. Thank you for the sharing. I have two questions. First, The first question is for Lawrence. Regarding the IT sector development, so from your perspective, regarding next year and the future, what do you think of the job opportunities in the Hong Kong IT sector? In Hong Kong, regarding R&D, a lot of work is in ASTRI, but when it comes to job openings in ASTRI, a lot are related to 5G and 6G, but a lot have already been realized. That's my first question. Second question is for Joey. So regarding quantified investment work, what are your views concerning quantum? Is there any good prospect for quantum? So there are two areas about quantum investment and quantum data science. So regarding quantum data science, what will be a possible direction? Thank you. Let me first comment on the overall job environment in Hong Kong. Now, in our institute, we have done research and survey. So how do our members in Hong Kong view the prospect next year? According to that survey, most members think that it will be flat or there may be slight growth. Regarding layoff or downsizing, very few. So it seems that the future prospect in Hong Kong will be a flat or a slight increase. Regarding the IT sector, well, many of them are working on digital transformation and projects. They need a large number of IT talents. No matter whether we are talking about ERP or AI. You have heard a lot about AI, but AI includes many different projects and skills. Besides, yes, AI is very hot. However, before it is indeed implemented at a very fundamental level, it all depends on the AI talents and how you look at how you look at companies' workflow. How is the workflow integrated with AI so as to reduce cost and increase efficiency? So I think there is bigger and bigger demand for such talents. So talents have to be recruited first. And then regarding AI and IT skills, there is the need for enhancement so that they can be turned into benefits. So regarding IT outlook and prospect, I am more optimistic. I can add a point. You talked about ASTRI just now. ASTRI works a lot on frontier scientific discovery and hard research. So if you talk about 5G, hardware, semiconductor, green tech, smart city, these are more frontier talent demands. But regarding the employment environment, the most requirements are in software engineering. There is no frontier model or other research. It is usually about software engineering and developers. So there is no difficulty in finding jobs in these areas. Some time ago, I talked to JobsDB people, and they said that in the past few years, regarding IT and AI skills and capabilities, there is a 26% growth in the AI recruitment ads or in the recruitment advertisements related to that. Many talents in their CV seldom talk about their capabilities in AI and technology. So it is very easy for them to be screened out by employers. So you need to talk about your AI and software capabilities in the CV. Regarding technology and AI, well, things are cross-sectoral. It's not about a particular industry. Some people said that for banks and finance, the situation is different. So yes, there is such requirement in all industries. So in your CV, if you can describe more about your AI-related and technology-related skills, then relatively speaking, you will get a higher score. Okay. The question is about quantification and things related to IT. So I guess you want to seek an understanding from both. So for quantification, it is more related to finance. So first of all, in China, when it comes to quantified trading, the environment is bigger. On the mainland, the volume is bigger, and the transaction volume is bigger. And when it comes to Hong Kong, for quantified trading, it is more for the international segment. So on the industrial dimension, the nature of the two is totally different. But regarding manpower need, there is big demand for quantification. In Hong Kong, when it comes to asset management, there is huge demand for talents in quantification. If you have this background, then it's not difficult for you to find jobs. When you find jobs, we may attach more importance to the applicant's background, because regarding quantified transaction, how to balance risk, and then in modeling, there is also stringent requirement. So when it comes to quantifiable or quantified trading, we will identify senior bankers, and we'll look at the applicant's actual operation experience, how they look at the Hong Kong market. So from job applicants' point of view, we will have to see what skills are required in the Hong Kong market. So we have to change our perspective from mainland to Hong Kong market. So this will be helpful to you if you want to get into the quantification area. Any further questions, please? Well, I have sought some understanding about Thomas' company. I personally learned STEAM education. So regarding AI model, regarding the creative positions and education positions, how do you shortlist the first batch? It is difficult to assess soft capabilities. So creativity, overall contribution, learning ability, individual value. So I think in Hong Kong, both creative and education positions are important. So what are the selection criteria adopted by your company? And besides, regarding modeling, how does your model evaluate a person's capability and whether or not it matches the position requirements? Regarding product iteration, now your company only focuses on recruitment. Then when it comes to products and also creative and education positions, are there companies that you would like to collaborate with? What about iteration? Earlier on, you said that you attached much importance to personal development directions, right? Well, you have asked many questions already. Yes, let me respond first. How do employers screen or select? What are the criteria for selection? AI is different from the past AI. In the past, AI has keywords, so keywords are used to do selection. Now, if you have used ChatGPT and Gemini, we analyze with large language models, and now employers input some qualifications into AI, and AI will do analysis based on the instructions. For example, employer wants talkative people. And then during the interview process, AI will look at whether you are a cheerful and talkative person. So in the first round of interview, focus is not on your creativity, but on your interpersonal skill. So let's say if you work on a creative industry, you still need to communicate with your team. So I will ask for your experience about teamwork. And then you may have listed certain experience in the CV. Then the AI will ask for details. And then when you explain the details, perhaps we will see your logic and the way how you handle things. And then we will see whether the employers will agree to your work approach. Okay, so no matter what job position, so you will first look at the way or the personalities of people. Well, it all depends on the employer's needs. They will use text to tell AI. But my question is, very often when it comes to creative positions, a lot has to do with pictures or videos or many abstract things. So how do you strike a balance in the AI system? Well, when it comes to pictures and graphs, we have not worked on that yet. So you have given me an inspiration. Perhaps I can talk to the team. Yes, I have worked in some big cities. Even though I don't have overseas work experience, I've worked in many big mainland cities. Nowadays, new media is a very mainstream trend. For example, Red Note and so on. So Red Note has high circulation overseas already. So I think images are difficult for screening. It all depends on the employer's preference. So this is something that AI needs to overcome. Right. So when you send CV, well, there is the need for you to introduce yourself or describe yourself. Then in your text, well, people will see your style. And then this kind of text can help people do screening. Right. Well, looking at your own works and pieces, well, we have not reached this stage yet. Later on, there is networking time. So perhaps you can talk in greater detail later. Next question, please.
Sorry. So a supplement to the previous comment. So I'm looking at the slides where one of the growth, the recruiting candidates for competencies. So the project management, you're looking at 8%, but then at the same time, you have AI screening criteria, soft skills, which is the top 3 is delivery and communication, adaptability and learning agility and motivations. Those 3 are kind of like within the project management. So how do you screen a potential project manager or with project management background, ones that are, in project management, it sinks to the bottom, but at the same time, skills goes to the top.
Right. I think what you just mentioned is a broad categorization of what project management is. Because if you look down into project management, you can even set using some project management tool, such as Linear, Jira. It also counts as project management, right? And also how to communicate with subordinates, so I wouldn't use a broad categorization of the 8% corresponds to the top 3 skills I just mentioned. So I think the top 3 soft skills is pretty much universal across majority of the work we're facing right now. Not just project management, but also maybe even if you're interviewing for a firefighting position, you still need these 3 soft skills, right? But if you're in, let's say if you're in a sales position, you may not necessarily need to handle a project. You just need to sell stuff. But you still need these 3 skills. So I would say, even in a project management context, these top 3 skills still dominate. But with that, you still may need some leadership. You still may need some knowing how to do project tracking, how to do timeline planning. And even within project management, you're still depending on your specific industry. So for instance, if you're like a product manager at a tech firm, then basically you need to handle engineers. So that's an entirely different skill set. If you're in a construction company, you need to handle construction worker and other stuff. So I wouldn't do that kind of broad categorization. I would really hone down into a specific criteria that our employer would like to set, and we can proceed from there.
No, my question is actually, how do you differentiate the importance?
Right,
so for
right.
example, if a guy is actually looking for project management
True.
work,
Yeah.
and then obviously the soft skills there, but then the criteria is really low, then how do that particular CV is going to stand out? with two contradictory conditions?
I wouldn't say they're very contradictory, but as I said, usually AI nowadays give control to the employers to see what kind of criteria they think is most important. So let's say if they prioritize a certain skills over other skills, they do it through prompting. So they would say, I prioritize their soft skills over their hard skills, or I prioritize, in the case of conflicting skill set. So let's say they want someone who can they want someone who have A skills and B skills, but a candidate may have A skill but don't have B skills, and another candidate is in a vice versa position. They may set a logic where they prioritize which one first. So what we are doing is we are empowering employers to set their own criteria, and they do their own deciding which criteria comes first. So we're just a tool that enables them to do it. And what we just present here is just a summary of what other employers are picking out and just sharing with you, okay, so if you're applying for a job, this may be something that you might consider. But even if within the same industry, so let's say we have a couple of large property companies as our clients, maybe Sino Group and Hang Lung Property, they are looking for different criteria, even though they are in the same vertical, and even though they are looking for maybe management trainee jobs. So you have to be, as what Lawrence mentioned, you cannot really mass apply for every job.
Yeah.
You need to hone in into the company's specific culture, take a look into maybe this company care more about people. So you have to tailor-make your interview to be people first. Maybe this company is more aggressive. Like when I was interviewing for banks, like when I interview for a Japanese bank, they think I'm very aggressive. But when I interview for American banks, they love me because I am aggressive. So this is really depending on, it's not really one size fits all, but depending on the company culture, the context, and also their own criteria, their own values.
Okay, I got another, just a second question.
Maybe we can,
OK，好，下一条问题。
Next question, please. Greetings. Let me introduce. My background is in clinical medicine. Recently, I am paying attention to AI. How can we combine AI and medicine so that in Hong Kong job market, I can find a job? Now I am studying in the Chinese university, and next year in July and August, I will complete my study and I would like to find job. So now, just now, you said that you talked about the quantifiable integration between medicine and finance. If I want to get into this vertical, now I have a few more months. So what kind of skills should I focus on enhancing? And then I am also training myself in project management, team management, and cross-industrial communication. I'm from Zhejiang University. I often participate in different events and activities. For example, with Spain, Japan, Singapore, Australia, we have different alumni with whom I communicate. So regarding Hong Kong companies, international business, I believe there is room for me to give full play to my own value. And then I can also create value for companies to develop business. So how can I get into the quantified medicine area if I really want to choose this field? Okay, let me answer this question. I think your background is very good. You study medicine. You want to get into quantified trading in Hong Kong. And through your own university, you have joined different alumni associations. You have your own network. This is a very good start. From this starting point, how can you further enrich yourself so that you can successfully find a job in the coming year? Now, here's my advice. First, you need to sort things out first because you have very broad background. You have medicine background. You want to do quantification business. You want to get into management. You want to engage in international business. You need to first know what you really want to do. You cannot get all right right away at one go. Perhaps later on I can communicate further with you, but you first have to come up with your own positioning. What is your first choice? What is your biggest strength? At this starting point, how are you better than other people? So after getting some understanding, then you should look at the requirements of quantification. In Hong Kong, I think the required academic background may be different from yours. So how can you enrich your experience? This is something that you need to think about in the future. You want to look at international business. I think you don't need to worry too much. In Hong Kong, well, all financial institutions are international. Most of them are. So as long as you can get into this vertical, you don't need to worry that much. Regarding management, well, you need to move up gradually in your own area. If you can show your capabilities, then you can move up the ladder. We can have further communication later. Okay, well, in the webcast, there are some questions. In the finance sector and the property sector, in the coming 1 to 2 years, what are the job opportunities and trends? What do you think? Now, I will ask Joey to comment on finance. I think in Hong Kong, in the finance sector, we lack talents. In Hong Kong, I can speak from the point of view of HR and also employers. I cannot speak for the whole Hong Kong market. Now, especially for the medium management level, if you browse some recruitment websites and also the HKTE website, you will see many finance-related openings. So in the coming few years in the finance sector, I think this is a sector that the Hong Kong SARG is strongly promoting. I'm sure there is a big lack of talents. Lawrence, can you comment on the property sector? The property sector is very broad. I guess you have some understanding about Hong Kong. Hong Kong has a small land area, but big population. So given the limited land, how can we supply enough housing to members of the public? And how can we satisfy the need for business operations? So actually, real estate is a richer demand. So all along, real estate has been one of the mainstream industries. So at present, for the Hong Kong property sector, my view is that we see stable development. After the start of the North Metropolis project, I believe there will be big change for the real estate sector. If you are interested to join Hong Kong's real estate sector, if you talk about architecture, for instance, then in Hong Kong, in terms of construction, well, most drawings and plans are in English. So there is this demand. Besides, when it comes to license and permits, well, in mainland China, the licensing for construction is different from that of Hong Kong. So you have to think of how you can migrate your mainland construction qualification and experience to Hong Kong. Now, Hong Kong government is doing a lot to attract talents to Hong Kong. So the two governments are working together in relation to recognition of academic qualifications. So perhaps there can be mutual recognition of the same license or certificate. These are some thoughts of the two governments so that there can be more effective flow of talents. So I think we're going to see steady development. Thank you. Thank you, audiences and participants, for your questions. Thank you, panelists, for the sharing. So that's the end of today's session. Once again, thank you very much Hong Kong Institute of Human Resources Management and guests for the sharing. So now we're going to have some networking time. Before you leave, please submit the completed questionnaire to our colleagues so that we can design more appropriate events for you in the future. Thank you for coming. See you next time.